Welcome back to the Fierce and Femme podcast with your hosts, Rami
and Alicia. And today's episode, we wanted to cover burnout. And this is something we've both experienced before. And I feel like it's almost like a trend at the moment to talk about being burnt out. So we just sort of wanted to give you some tips to deal with burnout and talk about sort of how we got burnt out, because I think sometimes the hardest thing is stopping it before it even happens. Mm-hmm. Anything to
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I might just dive into my experience. And I think a lot of that came from Victoria Police and just being a shift worker. There's a lot of shift workers that experience burnout, and a lot of that comes from the crazy fucking hours that you have to do. Whether that's morning shifts, afternoon shifts, night shifts. Like at VicPol, I would do like 7 nights in a row and then go straight into 2 morning shifts and then have a few days off. That's not normal. So of course, burnout is going to happen because you're trying to play catch up and your body's doing a full 180 and all the things. So I feel like for me, burnout happens gradually rather than waking up being like, I'm so burnt out. It's kind of like this just being tired all the time is what I guess would define as burnt out. Is just like constantly tired, constantly exhausted, and when you're putting things on your plate, it feels like it's adding to it rather than providing value. And for me, especially doing shift work plus having the business full time, I feel like for a good year and a half, I was just complaining about how fucking tired I was and how exhausted I was, and I can't do this and I can't do that. And then getting to work would feel so hard and heavy because I was not resting and I wasn't like filling my cup up, taking care of myself and doing all the good things that would prevent burnout, which is what we're going to talk about after. So for me, it was, I feel like it just, being tired is just what like really resonates with me when it comes to burnt out, and then just not wanting to see friends and family, but then feeling guilty when you don't, and just that toxic cycle in your head of like, okay, you should do this and you should do that, but you can't because you're tired, and you can't because you're burnt out, and like just literally a toxic thought loop.
Mine stem from work too. So I think there was a part of me this year that was definitely burnt out towards the start of the year. But there was a phase where I was just so burnt out. It was absolutely ridiculous when I was managing a gym. And this is where I always found like it was almost like shift work in a way, but a lot different, obviously, of that like I would be doing morning and night shifts, a lot different to your shifts. They were split, but they were in South Yarra and I lived in Ivanhoe. And if anyone's in Melbourne, they're like 30 minutes away. So I'd be waking up at like 5 a.m, driving 30 minutes, being there for like 4 hours, driving 30 minutes home, having like 2 or 3 hours at home before I go back again and do it again. So it's a lot. It's a really weird thing because sort of the only job that does that is really gym instructors, where you have like maybe 8 hours of work, but it's split in the middle of the day. And yes, there are perks into it and that you have your day, but a lot of the time, I know so many Pilates instructors that go home in the middle of the day and either just doom scroll or have a nap because they're so fucking exhausted from doing that as well. And equally on top of that, because I was managing the gym, I couldn't just do nothing in the middle of the day. I had emails to respond to and all these lists of things to do, and it was just never ending. And through no fault of my own as well, because I would also like agree to things too much and had big people pleaser tendencies as well. So I was really, really, really bad at setting boundaries and all those things. But that phase, I was napping almost every day. And for me to nap, I have to be sick. Like I napped a week ago because I was unwell. And apart from that, I literally couldn't tell you the last time I had a nap because I just fucking hate naps. And it only happens naturally if I'm literally just laying there and I can't fucking stay awake anymore. So to me, that was a big sign of burnout, which someone could resonate with as well, being like those physical things that you can see, or like you sort of said of like pulling back from things that you actually enjoy doing as well. So I reckon let's just go straight into the tips, because I feel like we don't want to dwell on the fact it fucking sucks. And if you've ever been burnt out, you would know that. But maybe let's go back and forth of what would be a first tip.
For me, definitely time management. And I'll always bring it back to shift work because you lose your entire perception of time as a shift worker. Like Saturdays and Sundays or the weekend isn't glorified because your weekend could be Tuesday and Friday or Monday and Wednesday. And And even with doing night shift, like there's no, like people are eating weird things or having energy drinks at like 3 a.m. And it's like, that doesn't matter because you literally have no perception of time as a shift worker. It's just, you go day by day. And I think that honestly, that's probably one of my favorite takeaways from being a shift worker is that you go day by day and you can plan. I'm trying to speak English right now and it's not working. I'm going to start again. So I would put all my shifts into my calendar, and obviously like there'd be days where I'm doing overtime and whatnot and da-da-da, but it's like you just have to be flexible and adaptable to your time management because it might change. So I feel like I'm giving two tips at the moment. Sorry, I've tied them both in together because the point is like you could have fucking fantastic time management skills, but if shit hits the fan, you need to just also like be okay with that and just learn how to regulate yourself through that. And just because if you stress so much about having this perfect fucking schedule and then it doesn't go to plan, of course you're going to get burnt out. So it's kind of like, as well as having a really good schedule and going day by day, just being flexible to the fact that something might happen, but you're okay because you just bounce back the next day because you still have your schedule and all of your things slot it into your calendar for the rest of the week, the fortnight of the month, or however you do it. For me, like I would put my shifts in for the month ahead, and then I would put client sessions in. And then now, for example, it's putting in the days that I'm going to go to the gym and making sure that I get my walks in every single day and da-da-da. So that just helps me see what I've got going on, especially if you're a fucking busy woman. Like, get it out of your head, sis. Like, I don't know, people, like you are crazy to me if you don't put your stuff, like whether it's a whiteboard or your time tree or whatever calendar that you use, put it there, because a lot of the time the burnout, which most of the time is in your head, but it's like if you can just get everything out and see what you need to do or see things that you want to do and all that sort of stuff, it definitely already reduces a lot of that stress and anxiety. So time management, and then on the back end of that, being flexible and adaptable with your time management.
So first one for me, and this was from being a chronic people pleaser as well, setting boundaries and saying no. I love the quote. I think it's from Elizabeth Olsen or something. She's like a Marvel person.
Yeah.
A Marvel person. Is that no is a full sentence. And I think I'm going to go off subject and then into subject, but I think as women especially, we're taught to be polite and be kind and all these things. And I also think it's a thing of I'm an oldest child and I always was just doing things for everyone and just like that was in my nature until it became something that's actually a detriment to me because I would never have time for myself because I constantly just said yes to everyone else. So I think you're allowed to say no. And I literally said this to a client of the other day is like, just remember that when someone asks you something, you have the choice. And I think that was like a huge thing of like, it's not immediately if someone asks you to do something, yes has to be the answer every time. Obviously, if you want to do it, go do it. But equally think, okay, cool. How is this going to impact my week? Do I have the energy, the space, the capacity to help this person if it's you actually giving your energy to them as well? And just going, do I actually want to do this? Like, I think that's a really important question because I know there were times where I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm doing this, but I'm the one who said yes to it. So it's like, do you actually want to do it or are you just doing it for the sake of it? Because then you are literally the person causing your own burnout. And I've done that to myself and I've been there. And it's that hard situation where it's like, oh, but I can't say no. And then that was a big stressful thing that I experienced. But like, just start with people you're comfortable with and be like, whether you feel a lot more comfortable saying no to family first or whether for you, you're more comfortable to say no to work. For me, work was a big one of like, I just felt like I couldn't because I had to. And my thing was if I was free, I can't say no to a shift because I'm free. But the thing is, you need to actually have fucking free time to have free time and to rest. So it's again relearning.
Fucking valid.
Yeah, that was such a thing that like
one.
I needed. So I think this wasn't even going to be my second tip, but it sort of almost is filling up your own cup. And with that is schedule in rest. Like you said with your time management, what happens is when you're free and you have that gap in your calendar, it so easily gets taken up because all of a sudden someone will ask, you see you're free, bam, you put that in your calendar and all of a sudden all your free time is gone. So I think it's really important to actually block out your free time like you're going to the gym, like it's an appointment, and make that something that's an actual ritual and a priority for you because we need to rest. Like if you don't, that is why you're burnt out. That's why you're always complaining of being tired and everything. And I just want to make it clear, rest is not always doom scrolling on your phone. Because you may be like, nah, I do rest. Like, I go at home and I sit on my phone. Your brain is so active and being fired up by all the things, all the lights and all these things that we see when you're always consuming. You need to have times where you're just not fucking consuming. You're meditating, you're doing breath work, you are just fucking sitting in silence. I love to just sit on, I have a little camping chair at home, and I just sit outside and the sun hits it in the afternoon, and I just sit out there and I watch my dogs play, and just like, they're the important stuff that helps you not get burnt out.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to add back on the one where you were saying like say no. Like communication's really important, both in yes, saying no, and also just telling people if you're tired, or telling people that you're actually focusing on resting. And if there's fear in telling your friends or family that, then I was going to say, like, you got to reassess. You can't reassess your family really that much. But I think it might help you reassess the people that you actually have around you, because it's so important to have friends and family that just understand that you want to chill out, or understand that you don't want to keep saying yes to things. And you might be that yes girl now and you're trying to change that. So yeah, people around you might be like, oh my God, but you always come out and you always do this and you always do that. But it's okay if you don't want to anymore. Like, just being okay with that and communicating that with people, because we do create our own burnout a lot of the time. And if you are that person, literally like what Alicia was saying, if you keep saying yes, 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 but in the back of your head, you're like, oh my God, I should chill out. I shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. It's not anyone else's fault. Like, it's yours. You have to take accountability with the burnout and do these things to prevent it. Like, you can't just wait till the burnout happens and then try to implement, because a lot of the time it's a lot harder. It's like when you want to get mindset coaching and stuff like that, when you've hit rock bottom, it's sometimes a lot harder versus when you're even at a stable place, you're at a good place right now. So it's like day in and day out, start implementing these small little things to truly prevent the burnout. You know, like, just...
I'm gonna.
You got another one? Yeah, I can see it.
I'm like, I mean.
No, this is good.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a type A person. This is still something I really, 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 really struggle with, is relinquishing control. And I know I actually saw this TikTok today, which is just me in a nutshell. It was like Sagittarius, and she was like, I'm not dramatic. I just, as long as everything goes the way I planned and exactly how I want it to be and all this, and I'm like, that is me, of like, I'm cool, calm, and collected when it's the way I want it to be. So I really struggle with asking for help or getting someone else to do it, because I feel like almost that quote of like, what is it? Like, if you want it done right, do it yourself, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was something that I was like, well, I might as well just do it. And almost the thing of it's faster if I do it, or all these sorts of things. But equally, like, you've got to give people the opportunity to help you, because I think that would also then be a double-edged sword of sometimes of like, oh, no one ever helped. Like, I'm always doing things myself, but I never gave people the opportunity to do it. So I think sometimes putting your ego aside, because you're not this big hotshot person doing everything yourself when you're equally running yourself into the ground. And that was a massive lesson I had to learn of like, I thought I was like amazing for doing all these things myself and like all these things. Equally behind the scenes, I'm fucking napping at 3 p.m. every day like fucking grandma at the age of 20, having naps every day because I wouldn't let anyone help me in the smallest little things. So I think that's really important, whether it's like the dishes or like small little things that people can just take off your plate. Because I think a big thing, and this actually came up with my partner last night, is like decision fatigue for me. I find really burns me out. So when I am really tired or stressed and everything, if I can just get someone to make a decision for me, massive difference. And I'm going to add to my own point quickly, is preparation, I think, makes a massive difference. So in little things, like for me, every single day, regardless of if I have an alarm, working, I would say like 99% of the time, I put an outfit out the night before. Because for me, I feel like this is a girl thing too. I could spend hours in the morning trying to pick the perfect outfit or whatever, or being like, what do I feel like today? I always do it the night before, because it's one less decision I have to make in the morning. I even say to clients, if you can put your food out the night before, like the more things that you can reduce first thing in the morning, because if first thing in the morning you have to make 20 decisions, straight away you're going to feel fatigued and burnt out for the whole entire day, because you've already had to do so much, like from the second you've woken up.
I've got another.
Yeah.
Just focusing on your daily habits will also really help, because a lot of the time as well, burnout is you're probably doing a lot of things that you might not want to do or that like you have to do and need to do. And it's kind of like, look back on your daily habits. Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough vitamin D? Are you going for a walk? Are you going to the gym? Like those things are so important. Like, did you have a really good meal today? Like just self-auditing every single day, because when you can shift those small things, that's going to make the everlasting change. Like that made a huge change for me. It was like a reality check of like, well, I'm not really training as much anymore. I'm just eating what I like can find because I'm so tired or whatever. I put in quotation, or I don't have time. But it's like, I'm also the one that's doing that, you know? So refining your day and the small things. And I think for me as well now, like a daily habit is just like waking up, not checking my phone, and just spending 10 to 15 minutes in my office, whether it's filling out a little journal or just setting an intention for the day and just setting your day up. Because a lot of the time with burnout, you're just like, go, 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 go. So you're waking up, go, 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 go. But you have to stop yourself. Like you are the one that has to be aware of when your mind is fucking racing. Like you're the one that has to look in the mirror and be like, dude, we're not doing this again today. Like you have to decide that. And honestly, just working on slowing down your morning and just picking your non-negotiables and like forget about your fucking to-do list. Forget about the things that you need to do for fucking Tom, Dick and Harry. Like literally just don't worry about anyone else for a hot second and just ask yourself like, what do I want right now? Or what do I need right now? So that when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to feel fucking fantastic.
One thing I want to say, because I have a feeling there's going to be people that have just listened and been like, holy fucking shit, that was a lot. Because we did just give a lot of tips. So one thing I want to say, pick one thing. Out of everything we said, whether you're like, okay, cool, I'm just going to start by saying no. And that's it.
Yeah.
Or pick time management and just make a calendar and...
We're both a bit nasally. Probably should have PSA'd.
But just pick one thing and actually stick to it. Because again... you deciding to probably try all these 10 things at once will contribute to the burnout again. So keep it simple. I love the little saying of keep it simple, silly, or keep it simple, stupid, however way you want to say it. But just pick one, stick to it, because that'll already make the world of a difference. Once you get better at your time management, perfect. You're probably also going to get better at saying no within that.
100%. Well. One thing at a time, one day at a time.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this truly helps you guys. If you feel like you need more tips or if you've got any feedback, you've given it a shot and you're like, fuck yeah, this has been amazing, please feel free to DM us. We would love to hear how this goes for you. You can find us on Instagram at Fierce and Femme Podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, like, subscribe, follow, all the things. We'll greatly appreciate it and we will see you next week.